I set up a basic machine learning algorithm to figure out if my videos just suck, which is a very real possibility because I suck, or if they were getting good engagement, but for some other reason, Instagram was throttling the view counts. I post primarily left-wing political content, and what I found was that when I directly stitched Charlie Kirk or pro-Israel content creator videos, my actual views drastically underperformed what the machine learning algorithm said those videos should get in the way of views based on the engagement of those videos. It's the old Rick and Morty quote, right? You're a piece of shit and I can prove it mathematically. I wanted to prove mathematically if I suck. So what I did was I went through every one of my Instagram reels that were under 3 minutes. I pulled out engagement metrics, which are these columns F through J. I have chocolate ice cream on my fingers. And I wanted to see if I could get a machine learning algorithm to use those engagement metrics to calculate the number of views, which is over here in column E. And so what I did, for example, this first one, CK Date. I take CK Date out. I use every other video. I feed the engagement metrics into a machine learning algorithm, and I feed in the number of views that go with those predictors to train the algorithm. Then I feed the engagement metrics of the first video that I took out in the first step of this to that model and have it tell me how many views do you think a video with these engagement metrics should get. I compared that to the actual, and then I calculated a percent error. These are the videos, you can see the percent error is positive. That means that my video actually got more views than what the machine learning algorithm predicted it should get. Out of 76 videos, 28 of them, the model underpredicted, like we're seeing here, right? So less than half. Now on the other end of the spectrum, there are 11 videos that got over 100% error in the other direction. Now I categorized these views by color coding them. The yellow was about privilege, about white privilege. The second one was, this was part 2 of a 2-part video where I think police have problems. Pal Lib, that's about Palestinian liberation. I started that video off by talking about terrorism, so maybe that was why it throttled it. I don't know. Now these 4 light green ones all have themes of sexual content. In the slut shaming ones, part 1 and 2 of 2 parts, I talked about women having sex if they want to, how I don't care. The labels one, I have an analogy in there where I talk about a sexual act, so maybe that's that. The day in life one, this one was kind of a joke. But there was a lot of like for example, I echoed RFK's claim that taking SSRIs will make you go to commit mass shootings. So maybe that's why. I thought it was funny, so I did it anyway. The remaining 4 that I've highlighted in the lightest blue were all stitches. This one was about how the word gender isn't just made up. It's actually a scientifically defined concept. This one, I think, only has that many views because I put it on my story of my page and I was like, hey guys, just let me know if you saw this in your timeline because it got almost no views and I thought it was a pretty good video. But again, I could just suck. This one was about Charlie Kirk saying, everyone's asking me for dating advice, and me saying the best dating advice is don't take dating advice from Charlie Kirk. This one is this pro-Israel content creator when it was her inside the Gaza Strip, right inside the border, look at all this aid behind me. Coupled with the news recently that came out that content creators were being paid to go stand in front of boxes of aid and talk about how it's the UN's fault that they're not being distributed, even though Israel is the one who has to approve them to go out. It kind of doesn't surprise me that this one had a 500% error. The number one, and you can see, look at that percent error, relative to all the others, was one where I talked about how Charlie Kirk is a white supremacist and his organization, Blexit, is an organization devoted to upholding white supremacy. This was one of the biggest ones that I was like, why is this video not getting views? It's getting good engagement. This tells me that based on the engagement metrics of all my other videos, Instagram had a reason to throttle that video. I don't want any of this to come off as me saying I developed a completely perfect algorithm to predict view counts, because Instagram, just like TikTok's algorithms, are black boxes. I think the videos on the other end, where my videos outperformed the model, that could have happened because someone, like I said, someone with high visibility put it on their story. That could have happened for any number of reasons. And the same thing applies here, right? Maybe the right people didn't see it. Maybe people saw it but didn't do anything with it. I don't know. But given the outlier and the outliers and the percent error, especially in the top couple, and especially considering that these 3 videos where I stitched Charlie Kirk directly and the one of the pro-Israel content creators where I stitched them directly, performing this poorly against the machine learning algorithm tells me that there is potential that they are doing some kind of filtering on, given how TikTok almost got banned and then it came back and said, thanks to Donald Trump, we're back, and given how Mark Zuckerberg, goes on the Joe Rogan podcast and talks about conservative talking points and is basically a robot. It wouldn't surprise me if there was some kind of throttling to limit anti-conservative content.